Hi everyone, my name is Kenneth and you are watching me play through my own solo Dungeons & Dragon adventure. So the character I am playing as is Ming Zao, and he has set out into the world to complete his training. He has now been taught everything he can in the monastery environment, and now it's time to go out and put that into practice and gain more skills as he travels the globe, as he travels the world. And let's just say the first few steps outside the door have not gone according to plan. He had heard about this festival in a town on the coast. He was excited to go and see it, and he comes to the village at the foot of the mountain where he lives and where the monastery is, and he knows a girl there that he's kind of sweet on. He kind of likes her. He won't admit it to her or anyone else, but people know. His best friend and rival, Taiyang, does know, and in fact, he has a conversation with him. We had a conversation last time with him where Tai basically says, hey, you've got to let her go, man. It's just not good. You know that the order doesn't allow those kinds of relationship. You're only setting yourself up for hurt. And so Ming is looking for help for people to come back to the village because you see, the village has been surrounded and is currently being besieged by zombies. Lots and lots of zombies. Now, this is a problem, right? This is a huge problem. So Ming barely gets out of the village with his life, goes up to the monastery, trying to find help from them, but they don't offer any. The Dalong has refused help entirely, said he won't send anyone. And even his best friend and rival, Taiyang, said, no, we're not going to help at all. And not because it's not the right thing to do, but because you want me to go help because of the girl, and I'm not going to help for that reason. And so Ming's at a loss. He doesn't know what to do. He's not going to find help here in the monastery. He's gotten a couple of his wounds healed from the nurse there. He got a potion there to drink, but he's still beat up too. But he's got to go back. He's got to find a way to save the village. He's to save Leah. That's who he's after to save. But of course, he doesn't know. He does not know that Leah's been bit by one of the zombies, and so she's slowly getting sicker. He doesn't know this, but she's slowly getting sicker and sicker back home at the village. And so now we're trying to figure this out. So Ming is leaving the monastery yet again. Now our setup is that the orders refuse to help. Right, the setup for the scene, so he's got to find help to help him save the village. But who does he go to? Where does he turn? And so we have a couple options here. Now, what we have to do every time at the beginning of a scene is roll a d10 against the chaos factor. Now, the chaos factor has increased. Last time it was a 5, and the situation was completely out of control. And so because of that, the chaos increases this scene. So now we're at a 6. Okay, so roll a d10 against the chaos factor. If it's 6 or lower, the scene is changed in some way. The beginning of what I intend to do is changed in some way. If it's 7 or higher, nothing really happens outside the ordinary. 4, okay, and it's an interrupt scene because it's an even. Odds are altered scenes. Evens are interrupt scenes. So, with that said, how is it going to be interrupted? Well, because of that, like we've done the last couple times, we'll go into our fate chart and specifically the random event generator. All right, so our random event generator. So first thing we have to do is determine the event focus. What is the event focus of this random event? Oh, let's get a good one. Please be something positive. Ming needs a break, man. Ming needs a break. 82. Have we rolled 82 like the last 3 times? So it's an ambiguous event. It's neither positive nor negative. Who knows? All right. So now we roll the action for the event. That's a 96. Guide. Okay, that's cool. Guide. And then we roll the subject. So guide what? What is guiding us? And that is a 6. Is that a 60? Yeah, it's a 6. 68. I think we rolled this before as well. No. Rumor. guide and rumor. Interesting. So, a guide and a rumor. Earlier, the monks were talking about something happening at that coastal town. Well, the coastal town is about a day away. How? I would say this. Let's roll a d20. The higher it is, the further away it is, right? Maybe if it's like a 20, it's going to be like a week away. A 1 is going to be like within a couple hours. So how far? Or a 3. So we'll say it's definitely within maybe like 4 or 5 hours hike away from where Ming is now. He did hear about something happening there. He could go there and look for help. That's totally possible. It's within walking distance. Now, Ming doesn't have his rations or anything he had. Remember, he left his backpack at Leah's. He never took it back up. So he only has got his quarterstaff and his throwing knives. That's it. We got to do it, right? We'll make sure we collect. Make sure we collect that. I'm gonna make a note. Collect your stuff later. But so. Because we don't have our things, this is going to be a hard march. We're doing okay on our health. We got 10 HP left. I think we'll handle it. So here's the real question: is Ming able to navigate around the village safe enough to get to the coastal town, or is something bad going to happen? I think with things going the way they are, I don't know. I don't know. It could be a 50-50. I really don't know. So 50-50, chaos factor 6. Here we go. That's a 33. And that puts it in the yes category. Whew, good. So he is able to navigate around the village safely. You don't have to worry about zombie attacks. We're good. And so we're going to get to the coastal village. I'm going to roll. So here's a question: does he make it in the 4 or 5 hours? He's been beat up a lot. So I'm going to actually make a nature check to see if he can get through the wilderness there. Remember, he's never really left the monastery. He's gone up and down the path, but he's never really left it before. He knows where this is, just because of the rumors, and it's only one way, right? There's only one way through the valley. So can he make it there in about 3 or 4 hours, or is it going to be longer? That's our real figure out. DC 10 plus 6, chaos factor, so 16. 8 plus 2, he's not going to make it. So we'll say that instead of it taking 3 or 4 hours as normal, it's going to take about 5 or 6, maybe even 7 hours. So he's going to come in just as the sun is setting. Okay, so he comes in, the sun is setting. He's now at this harbor town. It's on the coast. It's right next to the mountains. It's a huge area where all kinds of races congregate. I'm sure it's going to be a very busy kind of port town flavor kind of thing. And here's the question: does Ming know anything about this place? Let's roll a knowledge history check to see if he knows anything at all about this. And because chaos doesn't really have to do with this, we'll just do 10, and then he's pretty tired, and so we'll do 10 plus 3, so 13 DC to see what's going to happen. And that one, he's really tired now. So he can't remember this place or anything that would be connected to what he knows. He doesn't have any money, so it's not like we can go to an inn. And the sun is setting. This is problem. This is a problem. And so because I don't know where to look for help. Ming doesn't know where to look for help. I don't know what to do. Let's roll a random event. Let's roll that now, just to kind of get us moving, hopefully in the right direction. And so, random event focus table. It's going to be 34. Hey! Introduce a new NPC. So, that's awesome. So, let's look at the action and subject. So 40 is going to be postpone. Oh no. I hope we're not postponing saving the village. That's not good. Postpone, and that's going to be a 5. Postpone inside. We're introducing a new NPC. This is a chance. We have in the village that we were at with the zombies, oftentimes Ming meets different traders that come through the region. So maybe this is a chance for him to meet someone that he meets regularly, right? In fact, we'll look at our list of characters. So this let's take a pause here and understand that in the way solo games work, one of the things that the Mythic GM Emulator says and suggests you to do is that you have a list of NPCs that your character already knows or at least has some kind of connection to. That's how we got Leah and Tai Yang and this master. But there's someone else on that list that Ming knows pretty well, and so this is probably when we're going to meet him. We're going to meet this person. So maybe, and it says postpone inside, so maybe postpone going into the actual village itself. So Ming is coming up onto the village, onto the coastal village, the coastal town, and so at this point it's about dusk. The sun is set over the ocean to the west, and so everything is the sun is set over the plains to the west, the oceans to the north. And so everything is starting to calm down. There's the smell of evening meals being cooked. In fact, this is when Ming realized he hasn't eaten all day long. And he's been running around and fighting, so his stomach's kind of growling a little bit. He gets onto the road to come into coming out of the mountain path and going onto the cobblestone road that's been paved, leads to other villages along the mountain pass. And so coming up closer to the village, just outside to the right of it, he sees a small camp, and it looks like it's a couple traders' wagons that have kind of semicircled around a campfire, and he sees a couple of them around cooking different meals and stuff. And in fact, he's going to recognize one of the traders sitting around the campfire. This is going to be Karvok. Karvok is a local dwarven trader that frequents the region that Ming lives at, the monasteries of the dragon is. He often regales Ming with tales of his travels in far-off lands. And tales of his, as well as his home and the dwarves. And even Ming just admits that those stories have inspired him to want to leave the monastery. It's one of the reasons why he wants to leave is because of the stories that Karvok has told him. And so he sees Karvok and he feels his spirits lift immediately. And he quickly walks over and says, Karvok, well met, my good friend. And so Karvok, deep in thought and preparing his evening meal, looks up and is totally surprised to see Ming. Ming, my boy, what are you doing here? This is very far away from the monastery. I know. Oh, my friend, I know. It's a long story. Well, sit down and tell me. I would love to hear the tale. Now, at that point, let's do a quick constitution check. 16 plus 3, so that's a 19. So Ming is able to suppress the desire and really hungry. He's kind of dizzy, but he's not too bad. But his stomach does go. He does make a noise. At that point, after hearing the growl in Ming's stomach, Karvok gives a nice hearty laugh. Please sit down. I will give you food. What's mine is yours. Please have a bowl of this stew I'm making. I caught some rabbits out in the past. Please have some. And so Ming and Karvok catch up, and Ming tells him about gaining the status of full brother, and Karvok congratulates him. And Ming tells him about the village and its plight, and how he's trying to find help, and he doesn't know where to turn. And so Karvok listens intently to the story, And at this point, dinner has ended, and they've cleaned up their mess and their bowls. A couple of the other traders are listening to Ming's tale at this point. Ming doesn't know any of them, but they seem to be in Karvok's company, so he doesn't second guess them. And at this point, Karvok is sitting back in his against the log, and he's at this point he's lit his pipe, and he's taking deep puffs from it, smoke coming out of it and blowing it out, and he's going, "My boy, it's a very dangerous thing you want to do. You want to go back? You want to go back and help them?" "Yes, absolutely. I want to help them as best I can, Karvok. You know that Leah lives there." Of course, my boy, of course. Of course. Everyone knows you're sweet on her. We know. I just do not know how to help them except to go myself, but I'm not. It has been forever since I fought, and it's been forever since I handled myself around a blade. And I know that. I understand, Karvok, but I need help. Do you know anywhere I can get help? Anywhere I can start? I need it. That's a good question. So, let's go to our mythic chart. Does Karvok know someone or some place to get help? So I think it's somewhat likely. He's well-traveled. He would know companies and guilds and things that could help in that nature. So chaos factor is 6, somewhat likely. That is a 91. Wow. That's not just a no. Oh, wait. It's a yes. It's a yes. It's not an exceptional yes, but it's a yes. So, Karvok, taking another puff of his pipe, says, "Okay, I think I might know someone. I'll tell you what, I can introduce you to someone. But he's a little green, if you know what I mean. I'm worried about his ability to work with others. If you catch my drift, if you understand what I'm trying to say." I don't. I'm sorry, Karvok. You'll have to be more specific. He's a jerk, okay? He's a jerk. You don't want to work with him. But you look like you're desperate, and I want to help. Okay, he's a jerk, but who is he? Who is this guy? Do you trust him? With my life. Then, look, it'll be very obvious when you meet the lad. Now look, you're not looking too hot yourself. When's the last time you rested? I can't rest. I have to go back now. I need help now. Listen, Sonny. The village will be there, okay? You're not doing yourself any favors if you go half-cocked. You need to rest. You got it? I need you to rest. Fine. Where is this person that you know? Don't worry. You'll meet him in the morning. I'll set it up. Okay? Okay, Karvok. I trust you. Get in a wagon. There's a nice bedroll there. You should sleep. What about you? These old dwarves, we don't sleep very much anyway. And even when we do sleep, we sleep better on rocks rather than soft things like that. Okay. Thank you, Karvok. I owe you. I know. And I intend to collect on it someday. Ming is used to his friend's brashness and used to his friend's business-minded way of thinking. So Ming goes into the wagon behind Karvok, and sure enough, there's a bedroll for him to sleep. But Sleep doesn't come well, doesn't come easy. He's thinking about Leah all night, and he's thinking about the village. And it's just back and forth in his brain. Why didn't they help? Why didn't the order help? These are seated doubts in his mind about maybe the righteousness of his order.